Ah, just my luck break something before we start.
Sorry.
Okay, great.
Not used to rushing to get here to start.
What time you usually get in here?
9:15,
Oh.
Sky School doesn't start till 9, so
Oh, okay.
I drop her off and then head in. I wish I could get in a little bit earlier, but it's so weird to me that her school starts at 9. It seems so late.
A lot of them have moved to that time around my school. I'm like, I have to work.
I know, I'm
like,
like at
sorry, we're
least
not switching
8:30, come on.
Yeah, I know they restructured ours and I'm like, I had to drive Hannah across, all the way down to this point. I'm like, at 9 o'clock, and I'm like, that's not happening,
Yeah,
and so I'm like, she's staying where she's at, so I got her permit just so she could stay.
nice.
So I could drop her off at 7 in the morning
I
instead
know,
of
seriously. I
But-
know,
those days are long gone for me now, so
Oh my gosh.
I feel your pain though.
Yeah. So I always feel like rush. I'm like actually excited for summer because then it will be like I can get in early and
Yeah, there you go.
relax a little bit. Oh,
Picking up our Catholic gown today.
What was that?
She's picking up her Catholic gown today.
oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
That's one, so, yeah.
So cool. You guys doing any like parties or anything? At graduation?
No, we're going to Hawaii,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
our party.
I think that's enough.
Yeah. She's not going to party.
Oh, we're just going to Hawaii.
Yeah.
Gonna go hang out on the beach. one day.
Oh, just Hawaii.
Nothing big.
Well,
Hawaii's
keep asking.
fancy.
So exciting.
Yeah,
We
people
took-
keep asking me that, I'm like, no, I'm not throwing your party, we're going to Hawaii.
That is the party. So yes, say yes, we're throwing a party in
Yep.
Hawaii, yeah. Which island?
We're going for 2 weeks, so we're going to 2 islands,
Oh, so
so,
you're gonna bounce a little bit.
yeah, we're doing Oahu the first week, and then Hawaii for the second week. So, we've been to Hawaii, but they haven't, the kids haven't, and so. So that'll be a new island for them.
Cool. Kauai's the only island we've been to, and we went probably when the
Oh,
kids were
okay.
too young.
Long time ago.
Because it was our first time there, we wanted to sightsee, I mean, we're doing helicopter rides and the tubes down the canals and all this fun stuff and. A lot of money on those adventures and zip lines and everything, all they wanted to do was go back to the pool.
Oh, yeah.
I was old enough, cause I remember.
Yeah, but
That's
the
funny.
pool was the main
Yeah.
attraction.
Yeah, I remember that being the main place.
It's like we could have gone to the freaking Hampton Inn. On
Yes.
106 or whatever.
Right?
They would've been-
I think we're gonna do the tubes for the first time this time.
It's,
Oh, cool.
it's,
Yeah, we're
it's
just
an
getting to
experience,
start
great
thinking back and-
memories.
Yeah,
If you
so
want
I
to.
heard I heard it was definitely worth it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, cause our friends just got back from there
Okay.
and they
awesome,
liked
thank you.
it and like, okay, we'll do that and. So I think we're gonna do that.
So on my 50th birthday, we went skydiving. And then Chase and I continued to where we
Yeah.
could jump by ourselves.
Mhm.
And one of the things that the instructor was telling me about. His kind of initial motivation when he started skydiving was stuff like that, because you can spend $300 per person for a helicopter ride around Kauai. Or if you're jump certified, you can go and pay $40 and
Oh.
they'll throw you out of a
Oh
plane.
my
You
gosh.
pull your chute early and you just hang out up there. And you get to see all that thing. Isn't that amazing? You get to just take seven, look at her face.
It's like,
She
I
got-
didn't feel appreciated. Like, take one.
you're just like screaming the whole way.
You should do it, just to, because the first time you do it, you're strapped to somebody, they do everything, you're just along for the ride.
Oh.
It's like, you can't screw that up because you have an
That's
instructor,
true,
right?
that's true.
You're literally strapped to their chest.
I'll have to mention it to my husband because I won't be doing
I
it.
explain it to people that it's like an amusement park ride.
Yeah,
You know, it's like a roller coaster or anything else. It's like the tension and this anxiety of going up and the unknown, what's this gonna be like? And then soon as you jump, it's like that initial just, and then all of a sudden it's just like
Fine.
bliss. You don't
Okay.
even, you have no sense of space, like you're
Okay.
falling, because the
Okay.
horizon is so far out,
Mhm.
it's more like you're floating. Even though
Is
you're-
it kind of like,
You're
is it,
falling.
so I've been, what do you call it when you take off of a boat and you go like up in the air?
Parasailing.
Parasailing, so
Mhm.
is it kind of like that feeling? Because it was
Once your
pretty much,
sheet's open.
it was quiet.
Mhm.
Like it was quiet.
Dead quiet.
Yes, dead quiet. up there.
Well, when, obviously, it's just wind when you're falling, so it literally like you're just floating in the air because you can't see any. Depth perception of like you're falling, like if you jumped off a building, you could feel that sensation, but when you're in the air and the horizon so far, nothing's moving. Even though you're falling at an extreme
Okay.
rate, it's so far away. There's no real movement, so it's just like you're literally like you're floating in air and it's just really windy. Then when you pull that chute and it catches, it literally, like you just said, it goes dead quiet and you're just gliding. And it's.
I'll have to mention
it's
that
really-
to him. I don't know, that's something I could probably, I don't know, I'm just so scared of heights. Like it literally.
do that.
It would literally throw me, it would literally throw me off, like, I don't know,
People not
but,
used to the new time.
I know, I just remembered. So no,
We'll have to see.
Ashley.
let me send him a text to my husband, see what he says, cause he wanted to pay for the girls to do the ride, and I'm like,
I
hey.
can't forget what
Sorry,
we're
there's so many
doing.
little teeny
I know, but
things
we
to
can't
have.
add a new and forget the old.
I was never good at setting up music. Or mastermind. But I think we scheduled it during their out of staters meeting, other meetings.
They have Wednesday and Thursday meetings, so it always conflicted with Washington, but we only have a couple of agents in Washington. They literally on both days, they have it. Hello, good morning.
Tried to refill my water and then I got talking to Nikki.
Hi.
Should have shown me baby pictures.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. Is your husband coming today? Or you taking
Yeah,
the
he's
day off?
on a call in the car.
Oh, so he's here?
Yeah, he's,
Awesome.
and I've got the, is anyone online?
No.
I've got the drinking water peeing thing.
Yeah.
I went to Shayna's mastermind and I was like, I feel your pain now, cause I almost peed my pants. I was like, so we're trying to drink more water.
Yeah, it's,
But on a 45-minute drive, you get there and you're like, okay.
I'm just used to it now, on seven, been doing 75 hard, what day, we're almost done. We're, I don't even track the days, so just another one, right? I'm on day 67,
You're so close.
but it's such a habit now, if I'm leaving the office or home or anywhere, I always go in the bathroom. Just in case, it's like, well, I better go see if I have to pee, cause I'm gonna, cause I will as soon as I leave,
That's
drinking
funny.
so much water. It's just weird, I mean, here it's 9:30 and I'm over a half a gallon in already for the day. Wow, just, like I said, it's habit to just guzzle.
And Manuel just sent me an updated PowerPoint. So.
Yeah, I gotta we gotta do that transition
Do what transition?
from team meeting to presentation. It was kind of clunky last time.
Yeah, so I-
Giant one.
Yeah. Definitely turned off Zoom and then restarted.
I did last time.
No, you
You had another house?
No, it's been so busy. We've had 1 to 3 showings every single day.
good. That's excellent.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a offer come in yesterday, but then they backed out because of the closet, which I was just talking with Jeff about. And then, and so we're gonna see if we can get some, I don't know, but we have another offer coming in today.
Good.
Yay, that's
So,
amazing.
if it doesn't suck.
Exciting.
Yeah.
We'll probably, I'm gonna try to get some estimates on moving the AC unit so we can extend that closet.
No reason you shouldn't get full price. Was in that price point in that neighborhood.
Right. And, so there's there's a house that's not as good condition, but it's a Rambler. It's just right around the corner.
Mhm.
And it's bigger, but doesn't have finished basement either.
Mhm.
It only has 2-car garage. No 3-car garage, no garbage trucks. So that's, it's not like, 50 grand, right?
Yeah.
So, so the agent, they had the appraisal on it and it came in under 650,000.
Mhm.
So that's why I feel safe with it, but I also don't wanna. I also want her to go away with 600,000, not 500.
Right.
So, I was actually just talking to Jeff about it because we had somebody who decided not to put it off Main Street because this closet, the master closet is not big. It's not a walk, it's a square walk-in closet, not an extended walk-in closet, because the builders decided to put the second AC unit upstairs next to it. It's kind of down. So, and so we're gonna get an estimate on that to see what we need to finish that. But, so I was gonna ask you too. Also finishing, so the other question I was talking to him was, what about if we raise the price 13,000 to like 612 listing price? And, offer a 2-1 buy down. To get people more offers on it, because I feel like we haven't done enough offers for how many people is in the house. Like we've had 1 to 3 people every single day look in the house.
Great traffic.
So yes, it's definitely bringing in traffic, but. I don't know, so. That was my thing on it. I've been working with the lender the past 2 days, running numbers and like trying to narrow down the marketing aspect on it to kind of get a catch on it. But then this offer came in today, or it's coming in, she called me first thing this morning. And, because I was hoping to change that today.
Yeah.
Which I might still change it.
See what it looks like.
Yeah, I'm gonna see what it looks like, and then either we'll change it tonight or possibly get a couple.
What's up, Eric? Can you hear me?
Estimates
It's 9:40.
on finishing the closet. So what's the idea?
Let's get it started, yeah. Everybody. Okay.
I think if I could carry it out.
I can't, you think I can carry it out? I cannot.
I love it when
That's
Shayna.
She's like, and it doesn't mean. I love it. You're the car singer,
Yeah.
right? You sing in the car.
That's not
Yeah.
better.
Bar
I
singing
used to.
realtor.
Used to.
What would it look like to bring that?
You used to.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You used to, oh wait, you used to be able to carry two?
I
Or you
used to be able to sing, I used to sing in the car all the time.
Why don't you anymore?
I think I got burnt out of music, which is so weird, isn't it? Because,
You just need to find the right.
well, right, but. I also think like it depends on who I'm with. Like,
No, I do not have Zoom.
because when I went to the Amari conference was this spring or is it fall? Fall. No. it was-
Eric, can you hear me?
what was
I can
it?
hear you great. How are you?
Oh, perfect. Fan freaking
Vegas,
tastic.
the
Got stuck on a call. Of course, the first time.
No, it wasn't fall, it was the spring.
Well, we
Yeah.
haven't started yet.
That happens. Yeah, we haven't started because nobody was on Zoom. We got Shayna and we got Hillary and birthday boys in his car.
Birthday boy.
James.
Oh, right.
But you're
I
on-
like it.
Yeah, James is turning like 20 something. How old's James?
He's 43.
43.
Oh, he's a young pup.
Yeah, just a baby.
10 years.
Yeah, cause you're 91, 90.
Okay, Ashley, 9:42. I'm gonna jump right ahead
Okay.
to you.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna skip you.
Oh, I'm not, I got the wrong thing shared here.
That song's confusing.
Okay, there we go. We've
Okay.
talked a lot about this.
I just finished this book today.
What? That wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, I just finished this book today. It was so good. It's all about building a referral-based business, which is something that we're super interested in. We want to teach other people how to
We're
do
more
that.
than interested.
Yeah, we're obsessed, let's say that. So I guess we can say if anybody wants to share, if were there any moments throughout your week where you kind of thought about this triangle of like different levels of communication? I know for me, a lot of times I pick up my phone to like text someone, and then I'm like, you know what, just call them, because So what's something that's interesting about this triangle, you can't see it very good on the graphic. But the top 3 levels are the influential zone and the bottom 3 levels are the informational zone.
Hmm.
And so as you go up the pyramid, your impact on that person also goes up. And it says the upper 3 levels are like the influential zone. If you are looking to influence, convince, or sell, do it with phone calls, events, and seminars, or one-on-one meetings. So anytime you can be in those top 3, that's what we should be doing. Does anybody have anything? Did anybody focus on it during the week?
Well, I have a question, how come handwritten notes isn't in there, what is that?
I think it's like a mix of both. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why that one doesn't have either one, but it's not informational and it's not necessarily influential. You know?
No, I don't know why the graph is like that, but maybe it's just because that's like minimum standard is kind of what I'm thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
you should at least be doing this. If you're doing less than, it's this. If you're doing more than, it's more influential. Handwritten notes is still, it's personal, but you can be better and you can be worse. That's the way I look at that graph.
Yeah, so I have something, so I loved when you shared this last week, I've been thinking about that because I think it's really, at least for me, it's gotten really comfortable I have my camera on, by the way, over here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you do.
So I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. That camera scares me. This one, but.
So funny.
Yeah, so I think it's really easy to get comfortable to do the behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
the marketing, the social media, be the face behind the,
Yeah.
the screen or whatever. And I have been working on the phone calls and I had my own event on Monday. And James and I just got asked to be interviewed for couples, like just whatever.
Nice.
And I'm like, why not? Like take the opportunity and talk to people and network and that's
Why not?
definitely not how I built my business my first 5 years. And I mean, I did to a degree to get clients, right? But like, as far as like broadening it out.
Mhm.
And so this is really good I mean, that's how you're really gonna make
Yeah.
influence.
Well, I really like it too in line with the handwritten notes, they call them power notes. So anytime you do one of those top 3, you then send them a handwritten note. So it's kind of like you have a phone call with someone, then you just send them a handwritten note, thanks for the phone call or whatever you talked about, meet them one-on-one or meet them at an event. And I think it's a great way to also build out your database because then you meet with someone and you're able to be like, hey, I want to send you something, what's your address? And then you can build it out as well.
Okay, so I'm doing closing thoughts, but I'm gonna be talking about this, but what you were just talking about is literally in this book as well too. So they talk about the difference between follow up and follow through.
Yes.
I think I've mentioned that before, but I'll just read this part to you because since we kind of like dialed in on handwritten notes today, but it says the essence of follow through is this: in the hours, days, and weeks after meeting and talking with your new acquaintance, continue looking for ways to add value to their life. For example, you can send a personalized handwritten thank you note that says what a pleasure it was to meet them. It's such a simple thing and it speaks volumes. One of the greatest ways to creating value for people in connecting it is by connecting them to other people. And then it goes on to just talk about that personal connection stuff, but a handwritten note. So I'm totally in the habit when I leave somebody, like Eric last night, I sent Isaac a text after we met with him within the hour and just thanked him for his time, said how great it was to have a conversation with him and look forward to talking to him soon. That's a habit to me when I meet somebody new or it's in those initial stages, not so much like every time I see you, I'll send you a text. So, but initially you're creating a different relationship or setting the tone of the relationship. But what if I did that, but I wrote a handwritten note last night to Eric after our meeting and he gets that tomorrow or the next day. It's just a different level,
Just a
right?
bigger impact.
No, because nobody does that.
Yeah, along the lines of what you just said about referring. I went to a buyer's workshop this week and they were asking about like, okay, what is like the best way to connect with buyers, blah, blah, and everybody had like the traditional answers. And along the lines of what we're doing, I was thinking like, how about you refer someone to them? then that's how you'll get referrals back, is by referring people to them, especially if they have their own business. Or if it's even just a contractor or someone that they can use, like you set them up with someone that they need. And then they're more likely to refer you.
Yeah, it could create that reciprocity, but it's just the value of the relationship too,
Mhm.
right? It's like, we've been doing this a lot lately. Ashley's had some great Zoom calls with people, and it's like, what can we do to enhance your business? How could, who are the type of people that you need to meet in order to, you know, have more business, blah, blah, blah. People don't get that kind of conversation. I had a guy in my office here and he was just like blown away. He's like, I'd never have conversations like this with other people, because it was all about him. Even though I wanted him to be on town sites, I wanted him to be a community partner, and that's why he was here. All we did is talk about him, and he's just like, so he was in person, and we talked about that, and I made referrals to him. It was just like a done deal, no brainer. Cool.
Yeah,
I love
love
it.
it, me too. And I listened to the book, now I'm gonna read it and take notes.
Hmm.
Excited.
Have you read that one, Eric?
No, but it's next on my list, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna readdress it just because she won't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
So,
What I like about it is it makes you think, you know, about how can I make this more about someone else? But also how can I do things better?
Yeah.
So we just had a really nice referral from a past client and it just closed. And just the discussing about the 7 levels has made me think about how can I do my thank you referral, my thank you to my person that referred some business to me better. And I mean, last time we actually took a couple out for a really nice dinner, just to get to know them better and say thank you for the referral. That was amazing. This referral didn't want to do that, so we did more of a personalized handwritten gift to deliver to them instead of just sending them a thank you or, you know, a little gift in the mail or something. So just trying to up that game a little bit to get higher up on these 7 levels, because our referral business is pretty much 99% of what Michelle and I do. So we should really make it a big deal when someone closes from a referral.
Mhm.
That's what I like about this. It's just makes us think about how we can approach everything in a better way to create that communication and you know, those connections and make them more solid.
and that's what I love about these conversations with you guys, because I read this book years ago and I loved
And
it.
he
It was
recommended it to me too.
well, because of other conversations about referrals, and this is, oh, you should read this. It reminded me, but it hasn't been top of my mind for 5 years. You know, so having conversations and bringing these things back up and recommending these books to each other is what. So I've thought about this more this week because of Ashley's share last week than I really have. You know, in purposeful actions. Yeah, in a lot of different ways. I could give a lot more examples, but.
Awesome.
Nice. That was a good one, Ash. I like that you brought that up, and I'm actually gonna put that next on my list too. So, Eric, are you going to EXPCon Miami?
Yes, that is the plan.
Shayna?
Yes.
Hillary?
That was
Not
much
this
better
time.
reaction than last week.
Not at this time. Stay tuned. Things may change. Party in Miami.
So I'm already gonna be in Florida, like on until the 27th, and so now if I can just reroute my flight, I could.
Or can't, yeah.
Cause we'll be in, we're not gonna be in Miami. We'll be
Cool.
about 3 hours away.
I've never been to Miami. I'm excited.
I was just in Miami well, I've been there before, but I don't remember it, but, I was just there this year. For the first time.
Nice.
It was fun. I enjoyed it.
So Eric, you were not on the call yet when we were talking about one of Hillary's deals. You always have good input and stuff, so I mean, you can give the summary version or whatever. I want you to throw your listing thing out again,
Okay.
just for some more group collaboration on, you know, your offers of the condition and that kind of stuff.
Okay. Sure. So I have a listing. It's been listed up for 2 weeks. It's priced really well. Mainly because it's needs paint and carpet. But just, cosmetic things. We've only had a couple of, we've had people who we love the house, but these are the two issues. One of them, they question the sump pump, they think it's gonna go out on them, whatever, but anyway. It's brand new, it was just put in last year, and then because it has a higher water table, and then the other issue was the master walk-in closet. The builder, I guess, eliminated like half of it. And so it's a smaller walk-in closet that people don't love, and is the reason why we had somebody pull out of a possible offer yesterday. And it's because there's a second AC unit that's in the closet right next to it, that they kind of made it into a closet.
Partitioned it off.
Yeah, they partitioned it off from the master closet, so so Jeff gave me some really good options on, possibly getting some estimates on something like that, either finishing it, just seeing what they suggest, to kind of help with that issue, mainly with the closet. There's nothing we can really do about the sump pump, but, anyway, yeah.
So basically, Eric, I'm assuming that that is not the only location on the property or in the house that could have gone. My assumption is it was the easiest and quickest for the builder to do it that way.
Yeah,
So where we're at right now is she's gonna contact a couple of HVAC companies and get a proposal, estimated costs on what it would cost to move it into the attic or to move it elsewhere, remove that partition and actually have a master closet, eliminate that concern, which has been the number one feedback,
it's been the only
Sounds like-
feedback besides
the
the,
negativity of it.
yeah, that's the only negativity of it.
Yeah, so let's fix it, right, if we possibly can. Even talk to Lynn, she's got a new listing coming up and she just went through it with her contractors and everything. We basically help people flip their houses, so they're doing a lot of work. This place is so dirty, she feels gross when she comes home after being in there.
Yeah,
But they're gonna clean it, they're gonna paint it, and they're gonna do all this stuff, and the amount of money that she's gonna spend with her contractors that will get paid at closing.
Mhm.
And it's a divorce situation, she says she'll net each of them on the split a minimum of $10,000 each.
okay, nice.
So that's just that above and beyond type thing. I keep pushing her, you should charge a management fee for what you do on top of your commission. It's like, I can sell your house or I can help you do all this, because she's basically taking on a general contractor role and doing all this stuff. And she still has yet to even do that. She's never done that. But it's a value proposition and, it kind of goes to our referral base and stuff like that.
Okay.
So when you get those proposals, just at least ask them, just say, here's the situation. Would it be possible to get paid at closing, or would you be willing to do this? We have relationships with certain contractors, so it's easier, but start building those.
Okay.
Get referrals from Lynn. Oh, this is a similar situation that Lynn does, but this is for Hillary. And you might be able to just facilitate making a smooth transaction for everybody. That's where people, have good talking points about the transaction. They're just like, it was so smooth. We talk about how when a client says, oh, this must be the easiest transaction you've ever had. That's what we want them to think. I don't then go, oh, let me tell you what I had to deal with. And I debate the fact that it was a shitty transaction because of the agent and the title company screwed up and this and that. I'm just like, yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it? Whatever. But I don't share all the shit.
Can I share something with that too? So James and I did have a listing, it's been 2 years now, but we kind of did that. We hosted yards, it was a hoarder house, so we hosted yard sales, we helped offset the upfront cost of being able to put more money into it. We pretty much managed it, and we ended up getting 7%. It was a 7% listing for that, and so, really just a project we didn't do any of the labor, we hired everything out. And
They coordinated it.
we coordinated it, we
Made it
did help,
easier for
I did
them.
go through the whole house and pull out important documents and stuff, so it wouldn't just be totally, cause the guy was still alive, but. Anyway, so there's lots of really creative ways that you can serve people. One other thing is yesterday we had a referral from a client that we just sold in September. And she called us up, she's in town, moved up to Bear Lake, and she goes, hey, I'm over at my friend's house, they need their battery changed in their car, can you come help? And James went right over, helped them change their battery, they're already super impressed and ready to work with us when they sell homes. So it's just little things like that.
That's awesome. Yeah. They seem little, but they're big.
Yeah.
Makes you stand out for sure. Anything else, transaction wise? I know Eric's got about 4 new listings going live. He's got a few buyers he's working with, so he's swamped and.
Wowzers. Oh,
Uh,
Eric.
Comes in streaks, doesn't it, guys?
goes in straight, yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of waves, huh?
Yep.
Always seems.
Hillary's like, where's my fucking wave? Nah.
It happens when you go out of town too, you go out of town.
Yeah, plan a vacation,
Get a
right
lot-
before Hawaii, when do you go? to
Yes.
Love it.
When you're.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
boom,
see?
boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That's what happens always.
Where are your listings, Eric?
One will be in Taylorsville, one's in Sandy, one's in Riverton, and one's in Saratoga. The
Nice.
Saratoga is a townhome, the others are single family.
Nice.
And what's the source of those, clients?
Let's see, referral, SOI, referral, past client.
Awesome. Well, that I'm sure comes about because you were doing some of this stuff in there and had those relationships. And that's actually what I'm gonna be talking about at the end. What we've already kind of been having the talk on the theme. So what's the word I want?
Words aren't coming out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So this is next
No,
week.
that's last week.
No, last week. Well, was
You
it, they
forgot
were
about it
just here.
already.
No, it's like, this looks familiar. Wait a minute. I'm getting old.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in on Hillary's real quick.
Yes, sorry. Oh,
Of course, yes,
that's
Eric.
why
Oh,
I.
no, it's, no, just
Let me
fine.
back up. There we go.
I love that you have the plans on the MLS. I'm on your listing right now. This is certainly,
Okay,
this is certainly a house that needs a full, like a regular walk-in closet because of, you know, the year built and the style.
mhm.
So on the plans on the MLS, that walk-in closet for the master, is that cut in half from what the plans are?
Yes.
Like a third, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's where the AC unit is on the other side there. And I think, I thought I wrote it in, it was like AC or something on it.
okay.
Plan.
Yeah, on the floor plan. Yeah, it should say AC on there.
I don't see it on the actual plans that you have uploaded, but
You uploaded the wrong copy.
on that
Mine
photo, but
There. I saw
unless
that.
I'm looking at it wrong, but yeah, just as far as the house goes, I mean, the house is, it absolutely looks like a good buy. And then it
Yeah,
would
it
be
is.
really attractive to that kind of buyer, but you know, in homes built, you know, 2000 or newer, the focus has been on kitchen, living room, and you know, master suite, basically, right? The shift, I think that's what people are going to be looking for in this type of home. So I agree with Jeff on that. If there's any way to fix that, that would be a huge benefit in this home. I'd say if it was an older home,
Okay.
maybe not as big a deal, but yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Especially when it's such the dominating
Mhm.
feedback.
Yeah.
It's like, it's gonna continue to be an issue.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you want to eliminate before they're an issue, because for the buyer, it's gonna, in their mind, it's twice, 3 times the effort,
Mhm.
3 times the cost, because they have to do it.
Right,
If you eliminate that and make, again, the ease of the transaction, either it's just gone, like you just were able to do it. Or you have a plan to do it and you've got a contractor and that, just all those steps that you can do for them,
okay,
make it easier. You want people to be able to say yes or no, like, oh, how am I gonna do that? It's a pain in the ass. I'm gonna have to do that after I close. There's more money out of my pocket. I've only got my down payment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I mean, that's literally like our job on the listing is like, what are we presenting to market and what's gonna get them the most money? It's not always just cleanliness.
Mhm.
It's functionality
Right,
too.
oh, absolutely, okay. No, thank you, I appreciate that.
Do you want to see?
Maybe I did put it in, just erased it when I uploaded it or something.
It's there.
Well, if you fix it, you won't have to fix it.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Very true.
I was gonna mention, just from what I've heard, I would hire Shelley Morrison or one of her team members to walk through and just listening to that person in the report, you learn all these things, and so you're better equipped, so you may not necessarily want to, you may not necessarily have to do it on the next one, but it's nice that it's coming from somebody that isn't you. As far as like the fixes and just,
Recommendations.
it's just like, it's almost like new construction, you just move in, because they're gonna, I was gonna say pontificate, that doesn't even make sense. They're gonna just focus
Sounded
on,
like a fun word.
I don't even know what the words mean.
Is Shelley the designer?
Yeah, but they're gonna focus on like one of those little plastic wrap things in the wall, and they're just gonna solely focus on that, but if that's gone. They're just gonna notice the bones of the house and envision themselves in it and with their stuff and everything,
Mhm.
so it,
Buying is an
Listening consoles.
emotional
yeah.
thing. It's an experience for them. I agree with that. I mean, Shelley and all the good stagers, when they were doing these walkthroughs, it's like simple things like in the closet, for instance, nothing on the floor, nothing on the top shelf, because it detracts. Like you said, your eyes go to that. It's like, oh, there's not enough room for my stuff in here. It's overcrowded or whatever.
Yeah.
So staging, think model home. That's something that you might want to consider on future listings, is do that before you actually go live. You'll learn a ton to where at some point, maybe you don't have to do that unless you want what James mentioned is, I don't want to be the one telling them everything. I've got a team, I've got professionals that come in, and when she explains to them stuff, now you're just helping them execute.
And for $150, it's 100% worth it, because you're gonna take that knowledge for everything. The home that we had them do, there was 2 rooms, like, and the doors were, well, one door was here and another door was here. And there was just like a little end table, and these people were so used to walking around it.
Yeah.
But when
yeah.
someone's coming out and they're not used to it, that's a potential bumping hazard. And then all of a sudden they feel like they're in a confined space, because that is that thing could easily be moved, but now they're focusing on, oh, I didn't really like walking out of that bedroom, so. I'd recommend spend $150 and learn
That's awesome.
$1,000 of worth of stuff.
Yeah, just even flow, yeah. And Shelley is like one of the sweetest people on the planet, so you'll just get credit for knowing. And bring her to your house, to your listing too. Is that true, Eric?
It is so true.
Yeah. She is amazing.
And-
No, that's all.
Her daughter Kinsey too, just amazing, so.
Yeah, love them. Cool, so this was last week's training.
Back to that.
No, they did a good job. Today we have, check that picture out. This is the first shirtless SEO image we put up there.
Slowly coming up.
It's so
Oh,
wrong
it's-
with your TV.
Oh, that's weird.
Look, it's like slowly going.
Why?
There we go.
Huh.
Hey, you got a lot of people to sign up, so maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, we should have a good crew here today.
Well, next time Charlie and those guys set up, tell you guys.
I like this.
Here's an example of what we're looking for.
This is our new standard.
So Emmanuel's a stud. I'm excited to hear what he has to present, because I've met him through Josh Cavalier, Josh. And his experience with him, and then he just knew he was the type of person that I would want to meet, blah, blah, blah. So we met him, but not ironically, but interestingly enough, I'm making up words too. Ironic, so a little bit, base, pontificate. So here's a cool thing. Jason Karp, do you guys remember the lone wizard that Eric brought in to sponsor, and he has a little hat and everything like that? He came back. I don't remember if it was the same day or the day after or whatever. He came back to the office because he wasn't able to meet Lynn. So we chatted for a little bit, and I got to know him a little bit more, and then he went down and he chatted with Lynn for a long time, and they had a great conversation. But one thing he mentioned is that he was coming to, in fact, he just sponsored last week. Yeah, so he's coming today specifically because he follows Emmanuel on social media, and he's never met him in person, but he follows him because of the way he presents his message. So Josh Cavalier had said, you know what, I never could have lost these 80 something pounds. And he literally has a rippling 6-pack. It's just like the transformation is unbelievable. But he says, I never would have done this if he hadn't worked on my mindset first. Because I've tried this, I've tried this, I've tried this. He has a great program, great regimen, but I have to be in it. And so that approach of, it's not just nutrition and workout regimen, it's neurology too, and your psychology around just who you are. So I'm excited for that. And Jason said the same thing. he said that's why he follows him, because of the way he personalizes that. Was it 10 o'clock? Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So he's coming in today. So it was just put a little connection there with some personal people that have really got strong opinions and testimonials for him.
I peeked at his slides too, and it looks like it's gonna be really good.
Okay, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. He's super excited. In fact, he's talking about nutrition and, you know, wellness and holistic and all this kind of stuff. So he and his girlfriend meal prepped for, they're sponsoring their own lunch, and they're not bringing in pizza or something like that. They wanted to be a nice, healthy alternative. So they're bringing in something that they made themselves, which I think is really cool. Cool. And so next week, Martin Hoffman, I don't think I've met him in person.
No, just on Zoom.
Yeah, he's my friend.
On Zoom. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I did meet him on Zoom. We had a good conversation.
But he's gonna be here. Yep, he's coming in town for the
He
training.
does a lot of business in here, actually, talk.
So it's great. I love the presenters that come in here recommended by somebody else, like, whoa, whoa. Spoiler alert. Oh, you left room for a quote?
I did.
James, you ready for next week or the week after?
Yeah,
Yeah, I can tell you could do it right now, huh?
there won't be
You
any
should play
slides.
his teaser
There won't
trailer.
be slides.
No, no slides.
I haven't made any slides yet.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Oh, there wouldn't be if you did it today.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Oh, I need slides.
I'm excited.
Keep you on
I
track.
really like that you're doing it, you know, just like Ian's. I really enjoy Ian's, and, you know, when we get us, you know, to kind of have that collaboration. I just love it. So I'm glad you're doing that. And speak of the Long Wizard, I guess he's coming back now for a presentation instead of just sponsoring lunch. So I'm excited to learn more. He's a stud. I got to know him a little better. He's just a great guy. Somebody that you'd like to be in business with. And then Andrew Anderson, I met him at a mastermind group. He heard I was in real estate. He's a coach, again, on personal development and business development, but primarily his arena is real estate and real estate agents, because they need the most work probably. It's like, well, easy targets. So he is, I don't think he's gonna be in here in person because he lives in Idaho. I think he'll be
He'll be
broadcasting from Zoom, but we'll still come in here in person, and we have a lunch sponsor, yeah. For that. We should, if not, we'll get one. That's a month
I
out.
don't, we have one for his yet.
So super cool. I love the trainings we're getting here. I love that a lot of them are geared towards that personal development too. So
No quote added.
no quote added. Welcome, Nathan. We did change our starting time on this. I don't know if you had another appointment or if the habit of 10 a.m., which I think is 9 a.m. your time, is just the habit of logging in. But we're starting a half an hour early on Thursdays with our new schedule. So anyway, this is what I wanted to
Busy
talk about.
closing real estate this morning.
Oh, he was at a closing?
He's probably putting something under contract this morning. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's gotta be it.
Yeah,
He's
awesome.
killing it.
Well, you got some good momentum going, Nathan, so that's awesome. So remind me, who's read the initial book in this series, Go Giver? You haven't read it?
I have that one and the Go Giver.
So I react the same way. I did that last night. Remember to Eric, to Isaac, he like, I just mentioned it like, you've read the Go Giver, right? And he goes, no. What?
I think it's sitting on my desk.
I read that one and the marriage one.
Yeah.
That's a marriage.
You're like, what is wrong?
Well, you're a reader is why I react that way. You're a reader, and the reason I reacted to Isaac last night when he said that is because of the way our conversation was and being service-based and giving. And he literally, the reason I found out that he hadn't read the Go Giver is because he was saying so many things that are in this book. And I said, you've read the Go Giver Sells More, right? And he goes, no. And I'm like, you're quoting it. Literally. So the way he does business is in line with that. And so obviously it was a connection point for us. And so I brought that up, but you'd really enjoy it. And it's right along the lines of the stuff you read. So the quote that Ashley would have put up there if I would have sent it to her is on the inside jacket cover. It says, the great upside down misconception about sales is that it is an effort to get something from others. The truth is that sales at its best and at its most effective is precisely the opposite. It's about giving. Of course, that matches the title and we expected that probably, but it really is. And we've brought up a lot of examples of that today, just in our conversation, because actually was talking about the 7 levels of communication and doing things for other people. We've talked about, years ago when I did the presentation on our listing presentation, it was really hard for me because I didn't have a presentation, but the thought process, I'm saying, well, what do I do? And like you're doing right now, I gotta create some slides for this or whatever. It's like, how do I put this in order so I can explain it to somebody else who's like, okay, that makes sense. You do this and this. So I literally had to think, well, what do I do when I first walk in the door? What do I say? Because I got to the point where I just removed all expectations. I wasn't a script guy. I didn't have sales approach. I didn't have an agenda. I was genuinely there to find out what I could do for them. And when I realized that, our business changed forever. And so this goes right along with that. What I love to do anyway. It's a crazy business model when you think about it. Your business is adding value to other people. So I'm just going to read an excerpt from. I got a lot of things underlined in this book. I'm reading it for 75 hard, so I have just a little bit left on it. But I'll just read this and we'll have a little conversation about it. This starts with, it's not about you, it's about them. To be successful, you need people to show interest in what you're offering and ultimately buy it. But the world is a bigger place and your funnel is vast. Because you've been putting the first 3 laws of stratospheric success into practice, and I'll pause right there because that's the outline of the book. I'll just read the titles or those laws. The first one is the law of value. Second is the law of compensation. Third, the law of influence, then the law of authenticity, and the law of reciprocity. You can see how all those tie together. And so each section of this book is on that, and there's a lot of subsections on there. So the world is a bigger place and your funnel is vast. Because you've been putting into practice the first 3 laws of stratospheric success into practice, your reputation is growing and your influence is spreading. People you've never met and even heard of are hearing about you right at this very moment. Your business will touch the lives of many, many people, but you don't need this particular person to be one of them. At the same time, you always believe in your MacGuffin. That's just a generic word you use for whatever it is you're selling, a service or a product or whatever. MacGuffin comes from the go-giver. You also believe in your MacGuffin 100% and know full well the wonderful benefits this particular person stands to gain from taking a look at your product or service. Your success does not depend on this person saying yes, but they're getting to the full benefits of what you have to offer does. So breathe, relax, and give this conversation your very best. There's not a lot riding on the outcome for you, but there could be for them. So again, it's making it about them, and a lot of people go into sales situations with their agenda, and it's all about them. I need to do this. I need to say this. I need to overcome their objections for my gain because my objective is to leave with a sale. You can see that when you meet with salespeople, right? They see it with us too. So when you go there and you make it all about them, and in fact, I start out by telling them I'm not here to get a listing today. I didn't even bring a contract. It just sets the tone for the conversation, and there's a lot of questions. There's a lot of inquiry and discovery. You had a great experience on the last time we talked about your listing. It's just like, it was just different, right? Going in there with this agenda versus going in there, it's just, I'm just going to help this person the best I can. And I love that. We had a conversation after your listing. It's like, yes, it makes it fun. Eric even said, early in his career, a long time ago, he'd sit in his car before he goes in, and yeah, I'm going to tell the story for you. But he'd sit there and he'd kind of like almost have a nervousness about this presentation. So he did it right because he was being taught the scripts and the things to do and to say, and he was performing, And once you let go of that, Eric, right? It's just like, oh my gosh, then you started looking forward to it. Instead of being anxiety in a negative way, it became like, oh, excited, I get to go talk to somebody else. And, your business kind of changed from that. And that's what I experienced too. So this book, this whole series, it's funny, anything that has selling, like ninja selling or sell more in the title, we tend to make assumptions on what's going to be taught in that book. Precisely with ninja selling, I didn't read that for years after it came out because I didn't want another sales book. It just didn't resonate with me where I was at. And it wasn't even recommended to me till I was literally preparing for my presentation on how I do listing agreements, because another agent sent it to me and asked me if I had read it. I'm like, no, I've heard about it, but I haven't read it. And he says, well, you really should, because his words were, it's you to a T. I'm like, oh, really? A book about me? I'll read it. I like it already.
How interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my parting thoughts to kind of go along with that, Ashley's thing, and this is currently what I'm into, so I wanted to share that, because when we have conversations, when we're thinking about them, like I even turned this around yesterday when I had a contractor at my house to give me bids for, they call them gutter helmets, kind of like leaf guard and stuff like that. I met him at the Sandy Spring Expo. Unique product, worked really well. They had a demo there of water coming off this thing, comes over the rain gutter and it wicks underneath. There's no like perforation in or anything, but the way that it stops and slows the water from the material just wicks under and goes in there, and all the leaves and twigs and things shoot off the end. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And I have big trees around my house. It's a constant thing. I can't believe I haven't done it yet, because how many times I've been out in a rainstorm on a ladder, soaking wet and everything, reaching my hand up in there on the second story of my house and pulling out globs of leaves and everything from the downspout because it's clogged, and I have waterfalls on my house.
I know, you're like so close to smacking.
I know right where I am. My proximity. I don't even have to look.
Get over here.
You can feel the wind. But anyway, in this book, even though he was there to sell me on something, we probably spent 20 minutes, and I actually had to cancel an appointment because we took so long, but I spent good 20 minutes finding out how he bought this franchise, what got him into this business, who his clients are, what I can do for him. Because again, it's anything that has to do with the house, that's our area, right? So with these trainings we do and all these lunch and learns, get in the habit of talking to people. I think I could introduce you to more agents. You know, as a real estate agent, you know, my clients, buying and selling, they all need your services. So you're saying kind of like setting the expectations. If you're good, I'd love to, you know, spread the word and help you grow your business. And then, you know, I take it a step further because I'm obviously so ingrained in doing these lunch and learns. It's like, I tell them about the sponsorship opportunity. You can come in and meet, you know, 10 plus agents in person, some more on Zoom, and they all have their clientele. In fact, I know a lot of property managers. I know home inspectors. I know people that actually, you know, think of a home inspector with this guard guy, and he's talking about the problems with the house and the drainage and the settling and this and that. You need to fix these issues. And they'll say, okay, yeah, he's recommending that you should do it, but think if he said, I know again. Right? So when you're talking, I'm talking to him that way. I'm adding back, he hadn't even gone over his proposal yet with me on what it was gonna cost to do my job. And so we built a big relationship. And then of course, then I started talking about town sites, and then I started talking about other things, things that I could do for him. And a lot of it was just like, not real deep about actually doing it, but just the concept alone. It was like, again, somebody sitting across the table from me, expressing that, you know, this is the weirdest bit I've ever been on type of a thing. It's like, because we're talking about him and he never does that. And it's like, okay, I got another appointment. Get to your shit. Do your thing. So anybody have any comments on that?
I'm still catching up on everything you just said.
I'm also, you know, a masonry, and that you referred to me, and he's like, so how do you know Jeff? And I'm like, so that was a, you know, conversation for sure. And I'm like, yeah, so I'm an agent, so if you're really good, you know, I'll be sending people your way.
Okay.
Yeah, so, because I know there's multiple people who are gonna need a few things. I think once they see him knocking our mailbox down, like, is that kind of a person? Because they have, yeah, there's issues.
That's what we're talking about, right? It's just that offers him value.
Mhm.
He's there to
Yeah.
get a job or whatever, but then you're saying that you can help his business
Yeah.
and stuff. And that's awesome. Most people are pretty, you know, focused on their agenda on why.
Well, yeah, even my neighbor was like, I don't even know who to call, you know? So, anyway, yeah, so it was good.
So, I mean, that's a talking point for you. All of your clients and all your neighbors and all your people should know that you're the connector.
Mhm.
Even if you don't know somebody for everything, you'll find out. You'll call me, you'll call James, you'll figure it
Oh,
out.
yeah, I have
You'll
people
use
call me
your
all the
network.
time, do you know somebody, or they'll just put on Facebook and I'll you
Yeah,
know, put somebody's phone number in there, but
yeah, be known as that go-to for recommendations,
I try,
yeah.
so it just depends, but.
And I
Very
think
good.
doing it this way is just so much more refreshing for people on the receiving end. I was talking to a resale by owner lady, and she said she'd like probably talk to 50 other agents, and I'm like, okay, we'll see how this goes.
I need to get this book.
I talked to her for 20 minutes, and right off the bat, I usually start off like, hey, I'm not here to talk, get your listing. I said, your pictures look great, and I just complimented her on everything. She had done her own staging, and I said, I don't think you even need an agent. And so then she started talking about how a different agent had called her and was basically calling her a moron for not using an agent. And then they started talking about the commission that she wanted to offer the buyers, and she's like, oh, I think I do 1.5. And the person said, if my client wanted to see that house and I saw it as 1.5, I would not encourage them to go see it. And the lady's like, well, maybe you should go check your ethics then.
Yes.
I was like, that is fantastic.
She said that?
Yeah, she
Oh my
did. She-
Wow,
she
to
was
come up with that.
She was super knowledgeable, knew her stuff, and so then I just started asking her questions, and we had a fantastic conversation. At the end, I was like, well, I'm hoping this wasn't like near the bottom of all of your conversation quality as far as the 50 other agents. She's like, no, let's stay in touch. This was great. And
She
I
wanna
didn't-
be your real estate agent?
and so it was just really good. We'd move off, like I could call her up and we'd have another 10-minute conversation about whatever, and I felt good after it. Did I get anything? No, but I didn't go into it trying to get anything. I was just
It's a relationship
honestly
though.
trying to add value and see what she needed,
Yeah,
so.
that's what I just read. It's like you will get something out of it, but not necessarily from that person. And the minute you attach it to that conversation, it's about you.
Yeah. And this agent also had this audacity to say, well, when you don't sell this in a certain amount of time, give me a call.
When you fail, I'll be there to pick you up. Nice.
After you get insulted.
That's not my coloring.
Yeah,
It's just,
My first transaction was a for sale by owner.
yeah,
Mhm.
interesting. So in this book, there's another example, it kind of goes along with what you were just saying, where he was gonna buy a new car, a luxury car. So he had a BMW, Lexus, and Mercedes were his choices. So he was visiting dealerships, of course, like you would do. The summary version is he went to BMW, he test drove a car, the salesperson was so-so or whatever. When he left, he didn't even really remember his name or that much about him, and there was nothing remarkable about the experience. The Lexus dealer was like an hour and a half away. And he's like, he was gonna skip it after calling them and just talking to him about the inventory and stuff like that. But the sales agent, said, you know, that's okay, I'll bring a car to you. And so every day for a week, she brought a different car that he test drove and everything, an hour and a half away. And so then the Mercedes, so while he's doing that, he goes to the Mercedes dealer. And speaking of like the experience she had with this other person, where there's some people lift themselves up by putting other people down. And that's what this Mercedes dealership salesperson did, was, what other cars do you consider? Oh, I've looked at BMW. Oh, you don't want that. And he went off on all the negative things about BMW. And then he says, I'm really actually leaning towards this Lexus. And he went, oh, they're horrible cars. And he didn't sell the Mercedes. He told all the negative things about there. And he said, interesting thing, at the end of our meeting together, he made the sale. I bought the Lexus. He convinced me what I needed to do, but, and it was primarily because of the experience. I mean, they're pretty similar, right? I mean, there's features and there's different things between those three bands, but that guy's business is nothing like yours for that reason, because he leaves that impression with people.
you're immediately telling those people that they're wrong.
Mhm.
Just what we all want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, and you're kind of already defensive going into one of those situations. Andy Frizzell on his podcast was talking about this, where he was like a Chevy guy for such a long time, but his brother had a Ford, and then he went in to get Ford, and the guy's like, oh yeah, and he's looking at Fords, he's like, oh yeah, I used to have a Chevy, that thing was great. He started describing it, and that immediately dropped the walls, and then they were just having conversations like, oh, let me show you, he's like addressed like what he was looking for, oh, let me show you something, this might work for you, and then
Yeah.
go for it, so.
that's another thing when he was talking about your Lexus dealer, she, you know, brought him cars out to his house. He didn't have to go travel so far and everything. But she was asking him, what are you looking for in the car? And he realized, oh, the BMW guy never even asked me that.
This reminds me of when I was trying to decide which public accounting firm to go to. I don't know if you remember, but I was in contact with you the whole time. Every time I would get interviewed by someone, they were all had different tactics to try to recruit you to their firm. And I remember, I chose Deloitte because when they sat me down, they took me out to dinner and they were like, hey, everyone else is great, but here's why we're awesome. And then they started naming, you know, like what they were good at. Versus the other firms would be like, oh, don't go there. I've heard this, and this. Don't go to this place because I've heard all these things. And it's like, well, you're not telling me what you have to offer. You're just telling me why not to go somewhere else. Doesn't make any sense. So vaguely, that's a long time ago. Like 10 years ago.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's kind of a wrap. 10:29,
Perfect.
yeah.
You're good on time.
We didn't have time for a quote.
Mm-mm.
No time for a quote. But if Eric's got anything for agent attraction, we can do that real quick. Is that a picture or is
That's a
that?
picture.
Picture.
Pros and screen.
Hey, I do have a question for you, Jeff. There are, you know, there's the Go Givers and then there's Go Givers Sell More. So if someone hasn't read both, would you recommend them reading the one you're discussing now first, or read through or listen to the other one first before jumping into this one?
They could start wherever they want. They're all on different topics. The Go Giver, the one that's the beginning book in the series is just called Go Giver. Was that the OG? Because they refer back to that one, because that one is kind of like, you know, like Who Moved My Cheese, books like that. It's like story format that teaches a lesson. The Go Giver is a almost like a novel with the lesson or whatever. So having the choice, starting with the Go Giver, will make some of the references in the other books make sense because they refer back to it. And it's a quick read. It's a quick read. I gave it to Lynn for one of her physical readings for 75 hard. And she has a hard time concentrating on something that's more, you know, instructional versus the tone of a story or whatever with the lesson. And she just loved it. And she went through it. She wasn't even paying attention probably to her 10 pages a day. And just loved that style of reading. Really, it's really engaging. You can rip through it pretty quick. But yeah, that's my answer. I would start if you're, you know, with the Go Giver and then go through the series.
Perfect, thank you.
All righty, I'm going to switch gears here. I'm gonna shut this off and get set up for the lunch and learn. Eric, are you coming in today?
Yep, on our way.
Cool, see you soon. Out, see you.
Okay, bye.
See you, Nathan.
It's a weird balance issue.